Welcome back to WatchMojo.com, where today we're going to be talking about top 5 interesting the top 5 most interesting facts? Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, because it's history, leaders past, industry. Those aren't really facts. It's just stuff that countries have. I mean, unless you're brain dead, I guess that'd be facts. Okay, well, yeah, I guess I'll have to think something. Top 5 interesting thingies you may not know about Chad. Number 1 is its history. Chad has a very rich history. During the ages of empire, it was passed around from the Camel to the French, and eventually, in the 1940s, they were colonized by the French. This led to a bunch of conflict, on the inside and out, and eventually, they started decolonization, which finished up in the 60s. Afterwards, a man known as had taken over and had a totalitarian grip on the country. He removed all political parties except his own, and imprisoned and killed anyone who disagreed. This eventually started a civil war which put the government supporters up against the freedom fighters. It called in French forces where it was semi-successful, but it didn't quell the uprising. Eventually, a coup was put in place, and after a bit of shuffling the president's position around, they finally landed on he obviously started another civil war, which caused the country to be in ruin, up until now, where it's starting to get back up on its feet. And after some more shuffling, they landed on Debbie, which is the current ruler. The leaders passed. Debbie was in the military before he became a president in 1990. He had fought against pro-Libyan forces in the Second Civil War, and was able to get the position of commander, and through some string pulling, eventually became the president. His policies are liberal ones. He's trying to develop a democracy and a capitalist economy, though his progress attempts have been halted. In the years following his election, he had to deal with a few coups and rebel groups who wanted more of a monarchy. So far, though, this hasn't made much progress. Number 3. Chad's major industry. Chad's major industry, like many developing nations, is oil. It takes over 60% of their economy. The rest, in majority, is taken over by cotton, gum, and cattle, which makes up a third of the GDP. A large majority of Chad's population are below the poverty line. Currently, the country is in several debt relief programs, and is falling apart at the seams due to the reliance on the oil industry. And Chad is a unique problem compared to other big oil exporters, like Saudi Arabia. Exports cost a bit more than, say, Saudi Arabia's. So, generally, other countries will avoid getting oil from Chad and instead purchase it from Saudi Arabia or other members of OPEC, where it's much cheaper, which causes a lot of problems when it's 60% of their economy. Because when 60% of your economy is failing, you have to rely on less than half of it to do all the work. Which, along with new technology making it easier for people to get oil, it's crippling a large part of their economy. As of right now, they're not in the best position. Part 4. Areas of struggle. Their oil industry is almost useless, and they have a fair amount of corruption in their government. As mentioned before, there are many coups placed on debris, and a majority of them were organized by members of Chad's government just for power. Moreover, a large portion of the people in Chad right now are below the poverty line, and there's not really much getting done about it. 5. Paths to development. The path to development is a complicated process. There are several issues to resolve, so let's tackle them one at a time. And do note that this isn't super in-depth and really surface level. Like, I'm breaking character or funny haha Mojo Jojo, sure, Mojo Jojo guy. But, like, these are not in-depth at all. Like, even if Chad followed what I said, they probably wouldn't be able to get out of the position they are in. But for right now, this is what's gonna have to do. Number 1. Poverty. This one is simple. Diversifying the economy will bring in more money and allow for more jobs to be more prominent, which, in turn, will solve the poverty problem by giving people more money and more incentives to work and develop the country. Number 2 is corruption. This one's a bit more difficult, but maybe have some form of a no-tolerance policy, so anyone who's caught doing a corrupt action will be immediately banned. Though it could come and have a prohibition effect, where people want to do it more because it's banned, like during the Prohibition, when people went, we can't drink alcohol, I want more alcohol now. Debt. This has already been solved by the diversifying economy part, but it still is worth noting that they still have to do like debt relief and such, because it's not just going to be completely gone because the country can now export more than oil. But it's still a semi-permanent solution that might work. Thank you, fellow kids, for watching another school project I decided to upload to YouTube. For all 2 of you who watch my channel regularly, it is a school project. And for the people who are actually watching in the classroom, I hope you enjoyed.